All right, awesome. I think we're gonna get started here. Hey, Ricky.
Hey, what's up?
All right, perfect. I'm just getting my screen set up. Everyone knows how it is on GoToWebinar. Okay, awesome. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Welcome to MessageGears using data variables for relevance at scale. My name is Danielle Briner and I'm the product marketing manager here. I'll let Ricky introduce himself.
Yeah, so I'm Ricky Timbers. I'm the senior product manager here at MessageGears. Super excited. We got the double fans going today because spoiler alert, we have some awesome things to show you guys. So thanks Danielle for inviting me to do this.
I love the energy. Okay, perfect. Let's get started. So just a little housekeeping here. We're gonna go over data variables, what they formerly were, what they are now, see them in action, some product enhancements, and just really dig into how our enterprise marketers and our data admin are benefiting from this across the MessageGears platform. And then our very own Ricky Timbers is going to walk us through a demo on how we can do that while putting your marketing messaging together. And then at the end, we'll have to part ways, but you guys are always welcome to reach out to us at social media or sales@messagegears.com or throughout the webinar. So please blow up the chat, the questions box. We'll be answering those live. And without further ado, we will get going with a poll. So I'm going to start this here for everyone to take. Let's see. Okay, so how happy are you with your campaign personalization and efficiency today? So options are happy as a clam, could be better, need a new solution, or we send snail mail.
And quick clarification here, Danielle, like exactly how happy is a clam?
So happy. Don't ask me though, I'm allergic. We're gonna give our attendees just another 10 seconds here to get the answers rolling in. A lot of engagement, a lot of people in the middle. We definitely are gonna have our work cut out for us here, Ricky.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna close the poll. Everyone get your answers in. Okay, cool. So we're gonna share results. We are super in the middle. We have a lot of indecisive people. Could be better or need a new solution. Luckily for all of you, I know all, who's joining today. We're so glad you're here. Definitely some prospective MessageGears users. We're gonna show you what's great here. So let's hop in to the actual webinar. Launch variables are now data variables. We're gonna dig into this. You may be saying, if you're a MessageGears user already, this sounds so familiar. It sounds like launch variables. That's because that's what it is. We just gave them a facelift and we're now calling them data variables to really showcase what the data admin and the marketing admin are able to do alike across the MessageGears platform with the super versatile nature of what variables actually are. So, who loves to travel? Me. Also, Ricky. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so I know all of you know how that feels. We're going to do a quick travel use case here. So say you're an enterprise commercial aviation company and you want to send out personalized marketing messaging based on your passenger's home airport. So I'm Danielle, I'm going to Denver, so DEN. Say you want to send it to ATL or LAX. Those are all examples of what a data variable could be. Ricky is going to tell us how we could do that.
Yeah, sure. So again, with data variables, and this is similar to what launch variables are, but just kind of an improved version here. But what they let you do is you as the marketer have the ability to control what data you're targeting. So what I mean by that is, and like Danielle mentioned, she's heading out to Denver. So you could, as a marketer, decide like, hey, with that query that IT set up for me, with those parameters, can I set those to actually target people that are either flying to or from Denver, or here in Atlanta flying, out of Hartfield Jackson, and it reduces the dependency that you as a campaign admin have on your IT team. The IT team is able to actually set up this parameterized query that the campaign admin or whoever's launching the campaign is actually able to kind of control what's coming out of that query. Now, a super powerful feature and has a lot of flexibility, but for those of you that are technically oriented, you're probably going, that sounds a little dangerous, but luckily we have an answer for that too.
Totally. We're going to protect all of the marketers like me from messing up any of our data sets. So also a fun fact I like to throw in here. Data variables are one of the most used features in MessageGears just because they really provide that efficient, versatile feature for launching your campaign fast and in a very safe and easy way. So like we just kind of went over, data admin can set guardrails for the marketer. Then the marketer, all they have to do is pick from a list or type in a number range or select what is available there for them based on the campaign they already discussed. And then boom, launch button, launch your campaign. It gets sent out to your targeted audience, and it really sounds too good to be true, but it's not. It's a true set it and forget it. So the data admin can set the string, the number range, the Boolean, or the fixed list, like Ricky mentioned. And then all you have to do is just go right into your campaign and have very successful marketing. So Ricky, I definitely want to dig into how we can update these dynamically across MessageGears, because that's one of my favorite parts about this feature.
Right, and so to dive in a little bit, so in addition to those guardrails that we're also putting into place as part of data variables, we're also introducing the concept of a global data variable, and this will make more sense as we dive into the demo so you can understand how this is playing out, but it lets you manage these variables, those values, those guardrails, everything in one location to kind of give you a full breadth of dynamic updates and make it a lot easier than having to go through and track down all your little changes.
Awesome, cool. So we are going to hop into a use case. Ricky's going to show us how we're using City and Glory, our mock furniture retail client, how we're going to target some people by the state that they're living in and, show them some really awesome deals. So let's get into this. Ricky, anything to mention before we hop on over?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really it. We're going to walk through what a variable is, how we can go about making it, setting those guardrails, and showing really how quickly and easy it is to get set up and using that.
Awesome. All right, so let me send the screen right on over to you.
Most stressful part of the webinar right here.
That's true. Boom.
All right, let's, we're not done yet. Show this window. Here we go. Okay, so this is an example of what you might have today in an audience, right? So we're just going to use City and Glory, and this query is very basic, but we're targeting our City and Glory recipients, our mock furniture client, who live in Georgia and have more than one item in their cart that they ended up abandoning, right? So cool, great, this does its job, but now how do I make this flexible, right? That's what we're really here to solve. So I'm gonna switch tabs here just so we can jump back and forth, but this is the global variable list page. So this is actually going to be where you can go about and manage those. And now this is just a list page, not that glamorous, but let's go ahead and add a variable here. So we'll name this one state. Oops, excuse me, state. So this name here, that's actually going to be the name of the variable that or the parameter that you're going to use in your query. We can give this a little bit more of a friendly label here. This label is what the marketing or the campaign admin is actually going to see, right? So you can make that friendly. If we're playing this little game here where if I'm the IT person and Danielle is my marketer, I want to make sure that she knows what this variable is doing.
Real
right?
life.
And then also, because I might not trust Danielle fully, I want to set some guardrails here. And this is where this data input comes in. This is you setting a type for that parameter, right? String, fixed list, number, Boolean. And now that's not going to actually affect the data type in your query, but what it does do is this is what lets you set those guardrails for the marketer, right? So for example, string, you can set max characters. So if you go to the airport example, right? If you're typing in D, N, ATL, LAX, you might want to have a max characters of 3, right? That's letting them know like, hey, I did something wrong here. To go on, you can do number, which you can set a minimum or a max value. And then the coolest one, in my opinion, that we've added is this fixed list, right? This takes all manual input away from the marketer and turns it simply into a dropdown so they can select it. So we have state, we're going to do fixed list. Let me grab my little state names here so you guys don't have to watch me try and type this forever. copy that in. This is a comma delimited list. And then just like that, you can see this default value is now a dropdown. And it has the states that I actually have in my input values. So this reduces any, go ahead, Danielle.
The updates. I just want to like pipe in there and say that list just like dynamically updates, right?
Right. So we could easily go through here, add New York, right? Come back here, and then now you have New York as well, right? So this is dynamically updating, and this is where you could go like as you're adding more states, as your market's growing, you could come back here and add to this list, for example, and that's going to continue to update your options for your marketer. We're going to go instead of default value of Georgia, and then some help text. This is, letting them know what is this value doing, right? So state, you said like this is the state that your campaign will target. You can continue to do something like say you had market numbers and it was a specific format, like maybe like MKT-11 or something crazy like that. You could let them know like, hey, if you're inputting a value, it needs to look like this. This is what it's doing. This is your chance to leave a note for your marketer. So we'll go ahead and say done, add that. Now we have the state variable made. So now how do I use it? So I'll pop back over to my old and boring audience, which is just selecting Georgia.
And Rick, just real quick, just all of our our new people to MessageGears, we're in MessageGears segment right now.
Right.
The data admin view. We'll hop into the marketing admin view in a second, but continue.
Yeah, so that's a good call out. So this is everything that your data admin is going to do. This is them setting up your data for you to use. So for those of you that have historically been familiar with the MessageGears, blueprint or audience UI, this is a little bit of a facelift here, and this is a little bit changed. We moved the variables to kind of be in a little bit more in your face, right? So we didn't expand that, and here I already had two that were already made, which is great. But now I want to use that global variable. So I'll go ahead and come here, click associate. Here it is right at the top. Fantastic, save. So this is where you kind of have the old variable workflow with this new global flow. So now I have all these variables part of this blueprint that I can use. So how do I use them? This is where you introduce the parameters to your query. So we have Georgia. We're going to use our syntax, and all this is documented, so you don't have to worry about fudging this. But so you have this criteria dot state, which is great. And now we have the abandoned cart items. Maybe I want that to be dynamic too. So we'll go ahead and do criteria dot, what do we have? Items and cart. So
what we're doing, Ricky, right, is we're taking state because that's the name of our variable that we're going to be subbing in to our query, right?
This is the value that's going to be populated. So to give you an idea of how this looks, right? Like we have these default values. This is what happens if your marketer decides not to override. But we'll go up here and actually preview the SQL. So now you can see here we have state like Georgia, because that's the default value. Abandoned cart items is greater than or equal to 0, right? So this is the actual query that would end up executing when those parameters get replaced. And this is the end-to-end flow, so we'll get to how you're overriding. But this is the very technical setup, right? So Danielle, I know that you're most likely going to be on the visual side of things. So let's hop over there and show how the launch variables, or the data variables, been calling launch variables for way too long, actually integrate with blueprints.
Perfect.
So here's a screen that everyone's probably familiar with. We have our blueprint. This is very basic, right? You have your population. We have you made a purchase, right? Cool. Let's go ahead and add another target group here. And we're going to do loyalty level. Loyalty level. I could spell. That would help a lot. We'll choose our column and go ahead and say loyalty level equals. And now here's where another very powerful implementation of data variables. I could say equals platinum, right? Like I only want to target my favorite customers. Or now that would be the stack implementation. I could choose this loyalty level data variable, and now when I'm launching the campaign, I can control what segment criteria I want to target. So not only are you affecting the data coming out, you're also you could potentially impact how you want to segment that and make that just as dynamic as the people you're targeting.
Right. And I just want to call out, since MessageGears lives right on top of your live data and your modern data warehouse. Every time this campaign will go out, like your audience will be up to date. So I think that's also a really important call out.
Right. So that's a very great point. The other thing here to mention, right, is everything I'm showing you so far has been in the segment ecosystem. These data variables extend past segment, right? It's available in segment, it's available in message. And it's truly to make the MessageGears platform as a whole integrate better. So to show how that kind of works here, right? We have our blueprint, the segment product, the visual builder, the data variables webinar. Let's hop on over to a marketing campaign. We have that selected. We have our template, but now how do I use those data variables, right? Like my IT guy, he did all that work. How do I actually use these to be a little more dynamic? So we'll pop over to the settings of this campaign.
Yeah, let's go over how I can actually go into the system after this webinar and set some up for myself.
Right. So, so, so you have the data variables here, right? And these are all the ones that we had already used, right? So you have the items left in cart. How many have they abandoned? We want to target people who have abandoned, 2 or more. The loyalty level, again, this is what's used in my blueprint now. So let's choose gold, right? We don't necessarily use platinum. We're going to use gold here. And then state, we have Georgia, like we can, easily pop over to, let's go to California, right? And these are the variables and the values that are actually going to be used in that execution. So what this just enabled me to do is with that parameterized query, I can now have multiple campaigns targeting different sets of people and have little to no reliance on my IT team to be like, hey, can you actually go update that query? I want to target a different group of people, or can you update that segmentation? I'm trying to focus on a different segment of my audience. You can now control all that. And that's where the power of data variables and MessageGears, living on top of your data, truly starts growing. So, to kind of conclude this here, we can click launch this campaign, confirm this campaign's up, and away, and targeting the people that we wanted it to target.
Perfect.
So
Awesome.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, cool. I love that. I also wanted to dig in, like, so you launched your campaign, you talked about that, just to really like put a bow on it, because I know this like really like resonates with people. We're launching these campaigns, but say like when you're putting your email together or your marketing messaging together in MessageGears, you can also use your other data that you're pulling in from other sources. And so since I'm going to Denver, I'm going to get a picture of the mountains in my email. But Ricky's going to Atlanta, he may get a picture of Midtown, something very, something
Right.
unique, fill in the blank.
Yeah. So we definitely focused heavily on how you can control who you're targeting, but that's just, kind of supplementing everything else that MessageGears does to use that recipient information to create that personalized messaging.
Perfect. Awesome.
Awesome. So I will send this back to you.
That back over here. Okay, great. So that pretty much concludes the webinar. This has been great. If you guys have any more questions, we would love to have a sales development representative follow up with you. And I know I've had a great time sharing this. Ricky, how about you?
As always, it's a blast.
Yes. So if you guys want to learn more about how you can save time and money, or if you just want to give us a shout out for loving MessageGears, we would love to hear from you at sales@messagegears.com. Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.